it is time for another book review. Alright, this time around we're actually going to kick off a review series since we're going to be going through 9 books. Yes, this is going to be part of a nontology, for lack of a better term. Kicking things off with book number 1, Magic to the Bone by Devon Monk. Now this is book 1 of 9 in the Ali Beckstrom series, published by Rock Fantasy, an imprint of Penguin, and one of my favorite imprints of the moment. Actually, it's been one of my favorite imprints for a while. I have, let's see, turning around awkwardly, I can see 2 other series by Rock, 3, 4, so yeah, basically a lot of stuff by Rock. I have yet to be disappointed by them, regardless of the author or the series. So whenever I happen to see something on the shelves and I happen to have a bit of money, it's kind of a given that I'm probably going to end up with it. But back to the book review. Alright, Magic to the Bone kicks things off, as I said, with the 9-book series. We'll be doing 1 a week to give you time to read each book. That way you don't get too spoilered, even though most of these books have been out for a couple years now, so there are spoilers out there. But let's get rolling. The back cover of book 1, so you have an idea of just what you're getting yourselves into. Using magic meant it used you back. Forget the fairy tale hocus pocus, wave a wand, and blingo, sparkles, and pixie dust crap. Magic, like booze, sex, and drugs, gave as good as it got. Everything has a cost, and every act of magic exacts a price from its user. Maybe a 2-day migraine, or losing the memory of your first kiss. But some people want to use magic without paying, and they offload the cost onto innocence. When that happens, it falls to a hound to identify the spell's caster, and Alison Beckstrom's the best there is. Daughter of a prominent Portland businessman, Ali would rather moonlight as a hound than accept the family fortune, and the strings that come with it. But when she discovers a little boy dying from a magic offload that has her father's signature all over it, Ali is thrown into the high-stakes world of corporate espionage and black magic. Now Ali's out for the truth, and must call upon forces that will challenge everything she knows, change her in ways she could never imagine, and make her capable of things that powerful people will do anything to control. So yeah, that's just a very high-level teaser of the overall plot. And even if it doesn't sound overly interesting to you at the moment, I still recommend at least checking out a couple chapters worth, because it is well worth a read. There's no little inside preview blurb, but let's do the first page and a couple lines to finish up a paragraph so you get an idea of the writing style. Now, chapter 1. It was the morning of my 25th birthday, and all I wanted was a decent cup of coffee, a hot breakfast, and a couple hours away from the stink of used magic that seeped through the walls of my apartment building every time it rained. My current fortune of $10 wasn't going to get me that hot breakfast, but it was going to buy me a good dark Kenya roast and maybe a muffin down at Get Mugged. What more could a girl ask for? I took a quick shower, pulled on jeans, a black tank top, and boots. I brushed my dark hair back and tucked it behind my ears, hoping for the short, wet, sexy look. I didn't bother with makeup. Being 6 foot tall and the daughter of one of the most notorious businessmen in town got me enough attention. So did my pale green eyes, athletic build, and the family knack for coercion. I pulled on my jacket, careful not to jostle my left shoulder too much. The scars across my deltoid still hurt, even though it had been 3 months since the creep with the knife jumped me. I had known the scars might be permanent, but I didn't know they would hurt so much every time it rained. Blood magic, when improperly wielded by an uneducated street hustler, was a pain that just kept on giving. Lucky me. Yeah, so that kind of gives you an idea of the writing style. It's primarily most of the time you're in the head of Ally Beckstrom, sometimes in some of the others, and sometimes it's kind of an awkward mix as you get farther down the plot, as you'll see in future reviews. I've started this series a year or so ago, and I've reread the series now, I believe, twice, because it is that entertaining, and it is definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of the supernatural, or it has a little bit of the crime noir style, although it's primarily more about the espionage and behind-the-scenes politics of magic use and who's doing what with it and how. And it is kind of fun to see a female character who can basically eventually beat the crap out of pretty much everyone, but she gets beat up along the way. She is not invulnerable, she is not perfect. She makes plenty of mistakes along the way, but she learns from them, and so far, at least within book one, she does not completely fall apart because of it. There is the trouble of using too much magic and forgetting certain memories along the way, which is an interesting plot point when you think about it. I mean, there's plenty of stories out there where you can use magic and there's always consequences or complications or limits, but to think that depending on how much magic you use, you could lose some of your memories along the way, that's a pretty high price. And I mean, no matter how much you write down in a journal or something like that, even if you have a voice recorder or a blog nowadays, like if your brain just gets wiped if you use a couple too many spells one day, that's gotta suck. And what happens if you lose some memories that are a little too important? Like, what am I allergic to? That would be an issue. And it's kind of interesting to see a story that kind of covers some of those intricacies. And as you'll see in future reviews of the following books, it goes a little more in-depth as to just why she loses certain memories the way she does, and why harnessing so much magic can be a little complicated and cause even more problems down the line. It's kind of a situation of, yes, I beat this particular evil of the moment, but it kind of pissed off other evils in the shadows and creates a snowball effect, or more of an avalanche effect, really, of, great, now we have bigger problems, how do I deal with those? Read the next book to find out. And it just keeps on going. Now, each book in the series is $7.99, so standard paperback price, not too shabby. As I have on the screen, this is Devon Monk's website, the author, and you can kind of get an idea of the 9 books in the series. She has a little bit of each one just to give people idea. As she was writing them throughout the process, there's some little preview blurbs on her blog. And she also does a couple other series, but we're going to focus on those in future episodes. And if you go down the website, you can check out where to find her books for purchase. She has links for Powell's, IndieBound, Book Depository, Barnes & Noble's, Amazon, and of course the iBookstore and Amazon Kindle. So definitely go check this author out, check this series out. And if you've already read Magic to the Bone or the overall Ally Beckstrom series, please leave a comment of what you thought of the series. Did you enjoy it? What do you think of the Ally and Xavian romance and how it progresses throughout the series? What do you think of her father, especially as the plot goes on? I know in the first one, he's not really that much of a player, even though he really influences the overall story arc. And there are certain characters that I can't talk about yet that I greatly enjoy, but in future episodes, you'll learn more about them. So yeah, go read the book, let us know what you thought, and tune in next time for Book 2, Magic in the Blood.